I had to make a drink for this video. I've avoided this topic for so long, but the floodgates at this point have just opened. So here you go, YouTube. I have come to this point in my career. Thank you. YouTube drama. Hello all, my name is Sawyerhartman, and I have been a YouTuber for now about 7 years. And for the most part of that 7 years, I have always just kept my mouth shut about all of the drama that's happened on YouTube, all the changes, all the people. You see, if there's one thing that I've learned from YouTube, it's content is forever. Drama just comes and goes. So I've always stayed away from it, and I've tried to just make cool photos and videos for you guys to enjoy. Sorry, that drink is getting to me. I've tried. I really have to stay away from YouTube drama. I didn't feel like it would help anybody, but I'm quickly starting to realize that keeping my mouth shut isn't helping anyone either. So this is not a video to inform you about the drama that I'm mentioning. This is me to commentate on it and to give my viewpoint so that I can weigh in on this a little bit, because it is spiraling so far out of hand. It's sad. Sad. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories, and then 1 sixth thing that I think is going to be the next big story. But I'll save that one to the end. If at any point in this video you disagree with me, that is perfectly fine. I encourage it. I think us having different viewpoints makes us more valuable to each other. We can see each other's side, but I'm not going to tailor this video to anyone. This is just kind of how I feel about the shitstorm that is going on online right now. Okay, I'm just gonna jump in the deep end, probably the most controversial and hardest one to chat about right now, the Shay Carl deal that's going on. Shay Carl, if you don't know, is one of the OG of the daily vloggers, family vloggers. He's been a creator on the platform forever and has also become a partner at Maker Studios. And by partner, I mean part owner, big partner, not YouTube partner. Big partner, owns it, that guy. So there's been rumor, I don't even know how far this is. Literally, I got my information from other media outlets, which is why I think it's so important to talk about it, because everything's getting muddled, everything's getting confused, and I hope I can make a good point on this one. Right now, it's come out that apparently, allegedly, Shay Carl was sexting or inappropriately texting with some webcam girl while he's married, and the day that news story broke, he also checked into rehab for alcohol. That is way too touchy of a subject, so I'm just going to go broad and really attack the source of this. People want to know my opinion, what do I think about it, and Shay Carl has always just been an entertainer to me. He makes content that I have watched and tried to find enjoyment of. My job is not to be a detective. When I see this scandal come up, if you want to call it that, it's relationship problems. This is so relatable. It's every relationship ever. Sure, it takes a different form. I think they need to work this one out, and I'm going to sit quietly and just observe. Not because I don't want to take a stance on it, but because it's not really any of my business. If they're having marital problems, if he's having drug or alcohol related problems, those are things that they need to handle on their own, and they will get back to making good content for us if they so choose when they can. Now that I've taken a weird stance on that one where I didn't say if I was for or against it, which obviously it's against it if it's true, we're gonna move on to a new topic where I have a very clear viewpoint of what I feel is right and wrong. Before I move on though, Keemstar, who does Drama Alert, is a channel that I don't really even follow. I try, like I say, to stay away from drama. I did see from him that he brought up the point that if this does happen to be true, it's oddly coincidental because the texting scandal came out and they checked into rehab, and the next day Maker, the company that he owns, let go of PewDiePie. And now everyone's talking about PewDiePie, and they're not even talking about the Shay Carl scandal. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that was an interesting point, and I'm interested to see where this one goes. Shay, if you are really struggling with alcohol, I hope you the best, and I hope your family the best. No more than that. Okay, Onision versus Eugenia Cooney. I don't know Onision, I know Eugenia. And this is a touchy fucking subject. Onision has come under recent flack for bringing attention to what he believes to be an eating disorder with Eugenia. So Onision made a video 3 days ago called Eugenia Clooney is Suicidal, but it's okay because he put a question mark. I don't care if she was, if she is, if she wasn't. For you to use that title on your video without her knowledge, I'm sorry, you're an asshole. I know you follow me on Twitter and we have mutual friends, but that's a really dick move because that was for personal gain. Now, with that aside, let me go into the points that I do kind of agree with you. Eugenia is a thinner girl. Now, if we know that's because of some illness or disease that's beyond her control or personal choices in the shape of an eating disorder or any other matter, we don't know those things. It's very dangerous when we start speculating and start saying, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, I think it's this. It gets really dangerous. Apparently, she made a video going back at Onision, saying like, it's not your business, keep out of it. So that brings us to this morning, or yesterday for you. Onision made a video with no question mark, and it's just called Eugenia Cooney's Victims. In this video, he shows pictures of Eugenia looking thin and circles parts of her body that he sees to be problematic, and he tries to claim within the video that he's trying to help save her life, and that by the choices she's allegedly making, she is trying to commit suicide, is his point, statistically. I don't agree with Onision just kind of injecting himself into someone else's personal life and making these decisions. However, one thing that Onision hit on in the video that I can't help but agree with is the comments from the viewers and how they were affected by the content. In Onision's video, he puts hundreds of viewers' comments saying how they watched her and idolized her and aspired to look like her and the things they were doing to their bodies to try to achieve that. That is when it gets really alarming. That is where you have to step in, Onision. But you gotta do it in a more, you gotta handle the situation correctly. You can't just tell someone, hey, you're doing this stuff. You gotta show people love. Eugenia, if you're watching this, because I've known you for 4 or 5 years, I hope you're well. However, that being said, if there is anything you're suffering from, I really do hope you the best. But I will say, if you are suffering from a disease, some kind of sickness, it might be beneficial to some of the young girls watching you that you disclose that so that they understand that might not be their aspirations, but as much your reality. If that isn't the case and you don't make those statements and you don't want to share that part of your life, and young girls, hundreds of thousands of girls almost every single day watch you and idolize that figure, that is alarming. And I think that needs to go to maybe YouTube. I don't think that's something that I don't think you can just send your people over to Eugenia's channel to spread hate. I think that might actually make things much worse. Eugenia, if you've been struggling with this that long, I don't think that you doing it yourself might be the option anymore. I think maybe you should explore other options. But whatever it is, I think the lesson to take away from this is we have to handle things with care. Anything in your life, you have to handle it with love. You have to show compassion. You have to try to figure out why someone's doing something in order to help them try to change why. And that actually leads us to one that I just read about this morning, but apparently it happened about a week ago, and it's actually my first friend on YouTube, Shane Dawson. Shane and his boyfriend were at a party in honor of the armed forces. It was hosted by Tommy Lahern, who's a very, I believe it's right, it could be left, whatever one it is, she's not in the middle. She's she's an extreme. She's very extreme politically. They were at an event hosted by her, and apparently Shane claimed that he was holding his boyfriend's hand and they were kicked out for that display of affection between them. Shane also mentioned that his leg was broken, or they had hurt him and pushed him and kind of manhandled him very badly, and he's waiting to release that video. We really don't know that much. But Tommy did actually respond on Twitter, and the odd thing is she claimed that it wasn't for the reason he had claimed. It was because they posed for a picture with her. And then right before they took the picture, they jumped in front of her and kissed. That was actually another same-sex couple that night, as this picture shows. That was not Shane Dawson. So because there's so much lack of information, this is one that I am really interested to see where it goes. Let me just show you both sides of this. If Shane was to fabricate the story, then that's messed up, and it's obviously trying to sway people's viewpoints. But on the other side of this, if this party actually did discriminate against people, not even my friends, but just people, but if this is true, and there actually was discrimination against same-sex couple at a party in 2017, and in a political level, that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed quickly, rapidly, before it gets out of hand. It is not a crime to be gay. People just need to learn that. Shane, if it's true, I hope your leg's okay. I hope your boyfriend is okay. I look forward to meeting him, and I hope it gets sorted out. And if for some reason Shane isn't telling the truth on this, then Tommy, I hope your event wasn't too badly demonized. A really important lesson for right now is, as you can tell, I'm trying to take a stance on a lot of these topics, but There's so much missing information, and recently, we haven't really been able to trust the media, or at least we don't think we can. So no matter what we read, there's part of us that doesn't ever really believe it. So we look deeper and deeper and deeper, and we just keep finding different variations of the same story. I think if there's one lesson from all of today's video, it's the media has to be reined in, and it has to be more condensed, and it has to be truthful. Today, PewDiePie called his video, "My New Girlfriend." We know that's not Marzia. We know that's not his real girlfriend. And I called my video today, "The Truth About What Actually Happened." Now, both of those titles are super clickbaity because our job is to get people to watch our videos so that we get paid, so that we can pay our bills to continue to create content for you. What's very scary is we've now started to realize that the news takes that same approach to business, which when you think about it makes sense, but on like a real level, it's horrifying. The fact that the news, when they're starting to lose money and lose subscribers, are just gonna jack their stories up to get people reading is horrifying, and it needs to stop. It needs to be regulated. I'm so for free speech, which brings me to PewDiePie, our next topic. I understand free speech, but for media, it has to be truthful. It has to be factual. It has to be thought out. It can't be clickbaity, and you can't take things out of context. Felix, this is for you, my friend. I don't know how you're dealing with it. No, before I go to PewDiePie, there's one more story, and that's sex for subscribers. This is a quick one. I don't know why anyone's surprised. I'm actually shocked that it took someone so long to figure it out. Lana, Zoe, and Celestia have come under fire because they actually set benchmarks. When they hit 1 million subscribers, they're going to release a sex tape. They're going to appear in a porno, or they're going to release nude photos of themselves. My first question is to all of the hundreds of thousands of people who instantly started subscribing to them. You do realize that porn is a thing and it's free on the internet, right? You do realize you don't have to subscribe to someone and like wait for them to hit a milestone in order to get some kind of like satisfaction. You can just Google pretty much whatever you want and it's there. I'm not supporting it. I think it's a really shisty way to build your business. But the key is they've now built a business. They're going to have a YouTube channel with hundreds of thousands of followers, and they'll be able to swing it. Somehow doing something else crazy, they will be forgotten how they got there, and it'll be about what they're currently doing that's crazy. So like, congratulations, and it's still super sketchy, and you should be ashamed of yourself, but still you shouldn't. The people who subscribe should be ashamed. Brings me to my next point, YouTube Live. This new live streaming feature on YouTube that I've actually been using now on Sundays. Little shout out to myself. The audience for the first time on YouTube has a way to actually contribute money in the form of buying a comment. The audience can give like anything from $1 to I think $500 to get their comment ranked at the top of the comment box so that the person live streaming can actually read it. It hasn't happened yet. But I think we're about to see YouTube become a cam girl. I think there is a huge group of people out there, whether they're currently on YouTube or not, that are going to see the opportunity in this, that see they can do very sketchy stuff and make extra money on it because they're live on YouTube, which is a very reputable website. And then all of a sudden becoming a YouTuber could mean like walking around your bedroom in lingerie doing things whenever people donate. And I don't know if that's anything current YouTubers want to be associated with. Just saying, it hasn't happened yet. It's not current drama. I am now drama forecasting. I am on the lookout for that because I know it is going to happen and I'm just not sure when. Mark my words, mark your calendars. I am now accepting bets on when that will happen. Okay, now for the biggest story of the day, a story that you guys don't need any background on. Felix, or PewDiePie as he's known on YouTube, versus the media in general. If you don't know, you've been living under a fucking rock. But if you don't know, PewDiePie recently released a video where he went to a website called Fiverr. This is a website where you can go and pay people $5 to complete certain tasks that you request. According to Felix, Felix went there under the idea of comedy. He was going to ask people to do the most outrageous things he could for $5 to see if any of them actually came through on it, to help highlight how crazy and ridiculous the website was. So one of the activities that Felix requested was to have two boys who live in a third world country hold up this sign that said, "Death to all Jews." Now, so this like all snowballed because now the Wall Street Journal kind of went back and like said 12 of PewDiePie's videos have anti-Semitic remarks, and they like said 9 of them are still live, so they like highlighted them, they made a video out of it. This is from the Wall Street Journal, which as I was growing up was one of the most reputable websites for business in the world. But Disney severs ties with YouTube star PewDiePie after anti-Semitic posts. Completely understandable. As PewDiePie said, YouTube and maker were well within their rights to do it. However, there's more to the story. I speak from knowing Felix personally, just very vaguely, but he's a very joyful person. Everything he does is for comedy and for laughs. He never does anything out of hate. That being said, the joke he used and some of his previous jokes, they're not acceptable. If, and I say if, PewDiePie's joke and previous jokes are not acceptable if you also don't condone the use of those jokes in South Park, Family Guy, and other comedic places. If your stance across the board is that is off limits and it is bad, then I completely agree with you. But if your stance is, oh, it was funny when Jimmy Kimmel did it, or, oh, I remember when they did that on Family Guy or South Park, that was funny, but PewDiePie can't do it because he's a person, that I don't agree with. Now we're moving into free speech and also comedic speech. PewDiePie, who is Felix, a person, is not really a person. Sure, he's a human, but he's also a bigger entertainment channel. He is now a company. Very much the same as South Park, very much the same as Family Guy. It really comes down to censorship. Where do we draw the line? What's acceptable, what's hurtful, and what's hateful? I do believe that Felix's actions might have been hurtful to a lot of people. I also see that Felix's actions might have been seen as hateful from some people. All of this basically sums up to context. Context is this beautiful part of language that shows us why a word was said. It gives it meaning, it gives it purpose, it gives it context. Now, the reason I don't side with the media at all, and I'm completely on PewDiePie's side, is the media didn't just say, you said death to all Jews, that was hurtful to a lot of people, you're spreading a hateful message, boom, that's it. They went back and started finding proof. They started searching, they started being a detective, they started looking for proof that Felix was an anti-Semite. And they found these videos where Felix was wearing a Nazi outfit or watching a Hitler speech. And of course, because it makes a great thumbnail, it makes a great title, just like he was probably in my thumbnail, they included that in their story as fact. They said, this is Felix, and they showed a picture of him in his Nazi uniform. Now, if you had actually seen his video, if you've followed Felix for a long time, you would know that video was actually poking fun and showing how some of YouTube's features were actually quite Nazi-like. But it's not okay for the Wall Street Journal or any other publication to take something from our videos, from our tweets, and try to piece it together to serve their personal agenda. Say right now, who's the biggest celebrity in the world? Let's say Selena Gomez. Let's say the Wall Street Journal wanted to target her instead of PewDiePie, and they found some dirt on her that wasn't exactly true, and they released that story, and they decredited everything that she's worked to build. Her career on Disney, her singing career, and everything else she's absolutely done. They would be taking a stab at her because they knew it would make headlines. They knew it would make news. They knew people would be riled up. They'd be talking about it just like we are right now. But they wouldn't think what it actually does to someone who's worked hard. The Wall Street Journal and the media right now are essentially acting as vampires. They see themselves dying, so they're leeching on to people and sucking the blood out of them in order to give their stories life. And that's not okay. As someone who really does support free speech, I don't know what to do with the media. And that's why I turn to you right now. What do you think needs to be done right now? Because we have Huffington Post. When you read Huffington Post, it's so obviously Democratic. But when you read other publications, it's so obviously Republican. We have these people who are supposed to be giving us knowledge, who are supposed to be informing us on what's going on in the world, taking their own personal stances on what's going on rather than reporting fact. So what do? Do we start censoring what the media can say and jeopardize freedom of speech? Or do we just all get to a place where clickbait's normal? And if you have real news, well, it probably didn't get seen because that same title was used 3 months ago. The only reason that I decided to talk about YouTube drama today was to try to bring a little bit of light to the idea that it's just drama. It's easy to talk about. It gets views. I'm making this video right now because I don't know what to do today and I'm tired of people asking me. But I'm feeding into it, just like you are right now, clicking on a video that had something to do with YouTube drama, had some of your favorite creators in the thumbnail looking sad. We gotta stop this. I believe we can. We gotta stop clicking on the sad articles. We gotta start doing research for ourselves. So I encourage you, all of the stories that I spoke on today, and if you don't remember, PewDiePie versus the media, Shady Carl versus the webcam girl, Onision versus Eugenia Cooney, the new craze of sex for subs, and then Shane Dawson versus Tommy Lachren. I don't only encourage it, I want you to go do this research for yourself. Find out more. Don't look at the headlines. Don't look at the news articles. Try to find the fact and make an opinion for yourself. Once you've gone and done that, once you've curated a viewpoint for yourself, once you have ideas that are rooted in a little bit of fact, I want you to come back here to the comments and let me know your opinion. Please don't make your opinions agree with mine. I don't really care. I want to know what you're thinking. This will hopefully be the last time in frickin' forever that I have to talk about YouTube drama. But I felt keeping my mouth shut wasn't doing anybody any good. So, I will see you guys tomorrow with a brand new, beautiful daily vlog from somewhere cool in California. Have an amazing day. Subscribe. I make videos Tuesday through Sunday. Love y'all. Peace.